Hello everybody, welcome to my home studio tour here on my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, like the video right now and subscribe if you haven't already because there's a lot more of this where this is from. So let me tell you a little bit about the place. This is a converted garage. It is a two-car garage. The former owner built a wall to my right, separated the garage into two rooms, a regular garage and then this room. The former owner was using this room as kind of a man cave. He had lots of football memorabilia and a high-definition TV and a couch, a leather couch if I remember correctly. But when I saw this room, when we were purchasing this home, I said, this is the home studio. This will be our home studio. The only problem with this room, once I got in here, is there was a very long reverb in this room. And I purchased some acoustic panels from the GIC company here in Atlanta. I don't have any recordings. I wish I had a recording, but I will recreate what this room sounded like before I acoustically treated it. Hello. And now, you know, this room just sounds like this. Hello. So there's a little bit of noise, some reverberation, but nothing terrible. This is a room with lots of stuff in it. I have guitars, guitar amps, microphones, big beautiful speakers. I have a tape machine. I have mixer, synthesizers, keyboards, percussion instruments, everything you need to make any genre of music. I've recorded music for my own rock band, Antbrain. I've recorded music for a TV show. I've recorded the score, and that sounds like this. I'm in the process of recording a lo-fi hip-hop album, and that sounds like this. Pretty cool. So as you could hear, you know, anything is possible in this room. I won't record drums in here just out of courtesy of neighbors, but I could, if I wanted, record drums in here. I have lots of microphones. I have lots of inputs on my mixer here. And I will start giving the tour by telling you about my mixer. This is the Tascam Model 12. This is a new mixer. It just came out in the last year, but it's a digital mixer set up sort of analog style. Feels like an old Tascam 4-track, but it has 6 mono and 2 stereo inputs. And I have them all going into Ableton Live or Logic Pro at any time. And this is the brain of my studio. You could use it solely as an interface to go in and out of your DAW of choice. You could use it as a little recorder and record directly into the machine via an SD card. Once you are in your DAW, you could turn it into a controller, so you could mix the tracks in your DAW using the knobs and faders on the board. It's cool. It's a very cool machine. It's relatively affordable. I really have very minor complaints about it. The first complaint I have is that I wish there were a pad because the gain is not low enough to handle some Eurorack signals from my synthesizers over here. It's too hot and I cannot turn it down enough when I'm going direct. I circumvent that by going into another interface and then out that interface, and that handles the gain appropriately. But this is the brain of my studio. It's the Tascam Model 12. If you want to know more, leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Okay. Over here, we have the Arturia Keystep Pro, and this is a MIDI controller that has 4 channels of MIDI control, and then also has CV control for connecting to the Eurorack synthesizer. I think right now I just have it connected to a Spitfire felt piano. The keys feel cool, they're little keys, and I like it a lot. I think it's a great machine, and if that's the brain, this is the heart of my studio. It's comparing things to humans. I'm anthropomorphizing, I'm anthropomorphizing. I don't know what the word is. So we got the brain, we got the heart. Now let's talk a little bit about some of the limbs of my home studio. The first limbs, the hands, and 2 hands, a keyboard and a mouse. And I have everything running into a Mac Mini right now. One of the new M1 Mac Minis. I needed a computer fast, and I know there's going to be better computers coming out shortly, but I got basically the cheapest computer I could find, and I have very little complaint about the Mac Mini, but I haven't really pushed it too hard yet. This is the Monome Grid. This is basically anything you need it to be. The grid can be. It could be a controller or a sequencer. Mostly I've been using it as a launch pad in Ableton Live for all of my tracks to record and play each of the, I don't know what you call them, rows. I don't know exactly what the terminology is, but I don't have anything going there, but this is a perfect launchpad for all of my different samples and things. And this tool is very efficient. You know, I don't have to use my mouse and click on the little windows and things. I can just hit a button, it starts recording, and it's super cool. I've got a pair of headphones up here. These are Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, limited edition 80 ohm. This is a Yamaha HS7. And then I also have right here the Teenage Engineering OP1, which, you know, is the ultimate go anywhere, make music anywhere idea exploder. The OP1 is fucking awesome. It's a beautiful, elegant machine. It's super fun. It's a holy instrument, and it will take you to another world and make time slip by. This is a time travel device. Did you ever go on a plane on a 5-hour flight and say, oh man, this flight wasn't long enough, because it just makes time fly by? So, you know, people complain about the price, but it's totally worth it. I like the OP1 more than the OPZ. The OPZ is a little flimsier, has a little bit more build quality issues. It kind of crashes sometimes. It is super fun, and it's super flexible. I will not ever sell the OPZ. I will never ever sell the OP1. But I do like the OP1 more than the OPZ. You know, whatever. I have an Aguilar Tone Hammer 350 for playing bass. Got that a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. and I have an Ampeg 2x10 cab that I run the tone hammer into. It's light. It's very light. The reason I bought it is because I lived on the second floor and I didn't want to carry a big bass amp up and down stairs every time I played a show. I also have a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe that I recently had serviced at Acorn Amps in Atlanta. It came from my brother-in-law, and it's a great amp. It's a wonderful amp. It's a big tube amp from the 90s. It's all I need in a guitar amp. I also have this little Vox amp, which I got in probably the year 2002 or so. It's kind of shitty, but, you know, it's okay. I have a few guitars over there. I have a lap steel from my grandmother. Bought this for me for Christmas in probably 2003 or so. It was like $60, but I like it. And I have dreams of playing it more than I do. The only thing that I've really recorded on that recently has been this song. But, you know, it's a fun instrument. I have my Fender Telecaster, Mexican made, that I got in the year 2004 or 2005 probably. I'm thinking of selling that for a few $100s. I don't really need it anymore because I have some of Ji-Young's guitars, and her guitars are much better than mine. I do have this device I haven't talked about yet, little Norns. This is also made by the Monome company, who makes the grid, and it's a little computer, a little sound computer that could be anything you want it to be. There's lots of applications and scripts, I guess, that people have made that enable it to do different things. I built it and I made it work, although the screen, you can see the screen doesn't, I have to kind of tap the screen to make it work. That's my own faulty soldering. Speaking of soldering, here is an old MXL microphone that I purchased probably in 2002. Probably my first microphone purchase. It was about $100. A large diaphragm condenser mic, one of the first cheap Chinese-made condenser microphones, and then I remembered people talking about how you could modify these mics to make them even better. So I ordered a kit online and I changed like 3 transistors or whatever, capacitors, I guess. And now it's better, I guess. I don't know. I did an A-B, but I didn't do the A-B right. So this is my little hardware area, my rack. Check out my rack. I have a Furman power conditioner, DBX 1066 compressor limiter. I have a Warm WA273, it's preamps, a Joe Meek VC1, and then my patch bay is on the bottom. It's been patched like this for like months now. I just kind of leave this all patched as is, except for down here going into my furthest right channel on my mixer. I switch out, maybe sometimes I put in my PlayStation audio or my computer audio or whatever I need in there. But a patch bay is a wonderful thing. It's beautiful and timeless, and probably my favorite piece of gear in my studio is my patch bay. And I'm not even joking. Ji-Young, how many times have I redone my patch bay?
At least 20 times.
20 times. And I would like to show off this modular synthesizer setup that I have, basically tying everything together on my desk here. I use the grid as a controller, and then I also use the Keystep as a controller. I have a little sequence playing over here on the grid. That's being played by the Just Friends when I'm
Then I have some delay from the mimeophone. And I'm kind of sweeping through different memories. So some sound might be coming from like a few minutes ago. You'll hear as it kind of glitches in and out. And then I have some sound coming from the plates, which is being played via track 3 on the Keystep. Now I'm going to bring in a little bit of the Moog Mother. Just kind of playing a low frequency. And it's all very free-flowing, and there's no wrong answers. And you could basically just get into... Oh, shit. Oh, shit!
Now I'd like to talk about these synthesizers over in this side of the room. These are a trio of 1980s era synthesizers. The one down below is the DX7, and this is an FM synthesis synthesizer. Has a whole bunch of really nice sounds. At this point in time, you could download any sound that was ever created for this synthesizer, and you could put it on here, and I kind of hand-picked some of my favorite sounds. Up next, we have the Roland Juno HS60, which is basically a Juno 106 with speakers built into it. It's hard to play because I'm looking at my hand through the video camera. I'm usually much better than this. It's a cool synth because you could adjust all these knobs, and all these knobs change the sound in real time. That's different than this synth, which doesn't have any knobs, but has these cool membrane buttons. And I really do appreciate a good membrane button. Up next, we have the Korg DW8000, and this is kind of a mix between both of these synthesizers, in which it has digital waveforms and an analog filter. Again, there's not really like the hands-on buttons of the Juno, but it's relatively easy to program because it's kind of just classic subtractive synthesis as compared to the DX7, which has crazy, you know, all these parameters that aren't necessarily within the traditional subtractive synthesis logic. This synthesizer can also be controlled via this Behringer BCR 2000. So all these knobs you'll see are mapped to different controls in this synthesizer. So But this thing has lots of cool sounds, kind of classic, warm analog synthesizer sounds. Kind of more plucky piano-y kind of things. Meowing cats. But this thing's capable of really strange sounds, and all three of these very different synthesizers, but valued in my home studio. Hello? Okay, now I'm going to show you how I set up a template in Ableton Live to enable some quick idea capturing here via my Arturia Keystep and my various synthesizers. So I have it synced to Ableton Live, and right now I'm just going to hit play on here, and I'm just going to get a kick. Nice. Oh. Pretty cool. So now I move on to my track 2 on my Keystep, which is connected to my DX7. And I play it over here. And here we go. Now I'll move on to my track 3, which is connected to my Juno HS60. And right now I'm playing my modular system, mostly the Moog Mother. You know, it's too slow. Let's add some toms or something. That's the quick rundown of how I do things here in my home studio. It's not really that quick of a rundown, but it's the rundown of how I do things. There's a lot of things actually I haven't even shown you, like my video capture station, or my hi-fi system, or even, you know, all of my guitars. I have like 5 other guitars. Or my little gadgets and gizmos. I have lots of stuff in this room, and I might make a part 2, but I wanted to show you how I work my home studio because I'm proud of it, and I want to show you more about it.